Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Race for Light. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Race for Vets. Do appreciate you being here. Let me turn this thing down here. Thank you for showing up. I thought this little logo here, or this little thumbnail, would be kind of cute. Shows you how each Democrats or Republicans, they just keep pointing fingers at each other. It's a big charade, a big fake. Again, I've said it before, whether you're Democrat, Republican, all three branches of government break bread together and eat at the same dinner table. They sit there and laugh their asses off watching TV, seeing us fighting amongst ourselves because of their narrative, their agenda to destroy this nation I call it Merca now. I don't call it America, Merca. We were born to have no names in the beginning. And man is the one who started names. Everything's fake, from our languages to our nations, countries. And what's the first thing they say? Where are you from? America. To give you an idea of where you live at. It should be a free land. It shouldn't be named anything. Just like our paper money. That's fake too. Fiat currency, but we use it to trade. And we're making the man richer by doing so. By getting ourselves in debt, paying outrageous interest, while they're sitting back laughing their asses off at us. We're working job after jobs. Sometimes you work a job and you get laid off or you get fired. Or they just move out. And the jobs you do get, you just get pittance, small change. And you can't live on it. So you have to make 2 jobs, sometimes 3 jobs. And what you're doing is you're just paying the masters off for your electrical, gas, insurances, house payments, and your property taxes, and so on. It's bullshit. I have asked you people before, a long time ago, what are you going to do when you have nothing? No car, no gas, no food, no materials to fix your home. Are you going to bow down to government? This is what they want. Our forefathers a long time ago, before government got involved, lived off the land. It was hard work, but it was benefit. A lot of benefits. Air, physical strength. The garden that you made was 100% pure, no additives. You ate healthy. You put 1 tomato plant in there and you have enough for a long time, until winter time hits. Excuse me. Today's headline is The Good Hurt, and I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. They're talking about the new Clean Air Act versus global warming. My God, we're going to have floods. But yet you see these rich people live right on the oceans or the lakes, or whatever. But you don't see them moving on the land. If the ocean was going to flood, you think they'd be living there. These politicians have the best job in the world. They correlate their work. They don't know how to type. They have somebody who does, especially. They have a person who knows how to make arrangements, appointments. All they do is just walk around, delegate their work, talk on television when they want to make it sound good, and shut the TV off and go behind closed doors and do something dirty to us. This is a known fact. As long as I live, this has always been going on, but now it's getting worse. They don't care what they do. They're flaunting it in front of you, saying, well, what are you going to do about it? People protest out in the streets peacefully. Nothing happens. They don't care. Their agenda is to get rid of American people in any possible way they can. And what they want to do is they want to corral you, grab you from your homes and put you into 15-minute cities and start eliminating you one by one. Those 15-minute cities I call concentration camps. And that's exactly what it is. You're not going to have any freedoms. They're going to put a chip in your hand and they're going to find out exactly what you're doing 24/7. They were just waiting for this technology to come on out so they could spy on people. Now, I've been talking about this for 2 years, and I finally found somebody who thought the same way I did. I just couldn't believe it. And you're going to find out exactly what's going on now. And I told you what was exactly what's going on. If you have a neighbor next door and says, "Hey, why are you barbecuing? That's bad. Why are you eating meat? That's bad for you." And you turn around a week later, your neighbor's doing the same thing he told you not to do. Or if you have a weapon that you want to go hunting or just sharpshooting, someone snitches on you, they get paid for it. Snitch. Federal government comes over, "What are you doing with this?" Blah, 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 comes in, takes your guns away. This is all coming down. You're going to have snitches left and right, and they're going to get paid to snitch on you for something you really didn't do. This is not freedom, people. It never was freedom. They made it think that it was freedom. At the same time, they were slowly making rules, commands, demands on you. They're not following the Constitution. They're just doing what they want to do, and they call it executive orders. There's no sense even having Congress. Congress is helpless. It's a big game, a facade. Oh, the Democrats did this. Oh, them damn Republicans, them pieces of shits. But at the same time, when they walk and they sit in that table, start talking, they laugh their ass off, watching us fight on TV, tearing things up, tearing up our history. Good. That's the way they want to be about it. All I can tell you people to do is get off the grid. They're going to hate that. Learn how to live off the land, nature. Start slowly. Hide, whatever you can do, but do it. Because they're coming after you, and they don't care. When a person tells me that I can't do a barbecue or eat a steak, and the next day he's doing the same thing, there's something wrong. Very wrong. All right, let's start this video up. It's going to be a long one. The first one's going to be a short video. I mean, real short. The second one, probably a lot of people have seen before, but I want to put it out there. The third one, you haven't seen at all. At least a lot of you haven't. So sit back. Please get your pencils ready. And I'm going to give you some names to check up on. This way you can tell if I'm lying to you or not. Never believe anybody, not even me. Check your sources out. Sometimes I do make mistakes by accident. It's not done purposely. All right, let's get this thing going here, and I'm going to keep quiet. Let me get this out of the way, and we're going to start. Let me get out of here.
You know what's interesting about all these people? None of them are volunteering to off themselves. Bill Gates is an old guy. He's late 60s, I think. Is he offed himself? I don't think so. He's still flying around in a private jet telling us all how we need to reduce our carbon footprint. The carbon they want to reduce is you. You're the carbon they want to reduce.
The secret covenant. An illusion it will be, so large, so vast, it will escape their perception. Those who will see it will be thought of as insane. We will create separate fronts to prevent them from seeing the connection between us. We will behave as if we are not connected to keep the illusion alive. Our goals will be accomplished, one drop at a time, so as to never bring suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur. We will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the absolute. We will work together always, as will remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to he who speaks. We will keep their lifespan short and their minds weak, while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways, so that they will never see what is happening. We will use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food and water, also in the air. They will be blanketed by poisons everywhere they turn. The soft metals will cause them to lose their minds. We will promise to find a cure from our many fronts, yet we will feed them more poison. The poisons will be absorbed through their skin and mouth. They will destroy their minds and reproductive systems. From all this, the children will be born dead, and we will conceal this information. The poisons will be hidden in everything that surrounds them, in what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear. We must be ingenious in dispensing the poisons, for they can see far. We will teach them that the poisons are good, with fun images and musical tones. Those they look up to will help. We will enlist them to push our poisons. They will see our products used in film and grow accustomed to them, and will never know their true effects. When they give birth, we will inject poisons into the blood of their children and convince them it's for their help. We will start early on when their minds are young. We will target their children with what children love most, sweet things. When their teeth decay, we will fill them with metals that will kill their mind and steal their future. When their ability to learn has been affected, we will create medicine that will make them sicker and create other diseases, for which we will create yet more medicine. We will render them docile and weak before us with our power. They will grow more depressed, slow, and obese, and when they come to us for help, we will give them more poison. We will focus their attention towards money and material goods, so that they may never connect with their inner self. We will distract them with fornication, external pleasures, and games, so they may never be one with the oneness of it all. Their minds will belong to us, and they will do what we say. If they refuse, we shall find ways to implement mind-altering technology into their lives. We will use fear as our weapon. We will establish their governments and establish opposites within. We will own both sides. We will always hide our objective, but carry out our plan. They will perform the labor for us, and we shall prosper from their toil. Our families must never mix with theirs. Our blood must be pure always, for it is the way. We will make them kill each other when it suits us. We will keep them separated from the oneness by dogma and religion. We will control all aspects of their lives and tell them what to think and how. We will guide them kindly and gently, letting them think they are guiding themselves. We will foment animosity among them through our factions. When a light shall shine among them, we shall extinguish it by ridicule or death, whichever suits us best. We will make them rip each other's hearts apart and kill their own children. We will accomplish this by using hate as our ally, anger as our friend. The hate will blind them totally, and never will they see that from their conflict we emerge as their rulers. They will be busy killing each other. They will bathe in their own blood and kill their neighbors for as long as we see fit. We will benefit greatly from this, for they will not see us, for they cannot see us. We will continue to prosper from their wars and from their deaths. We shall repeat this over and over until our ultimate goal is accomplished. We will continue to make them live in fear and anger through images and sounds. We will use all the tools we have to accomplish this. The tools will be provided by their labor. We will make them hate themselves and their neighbors. We will always hide the divine truth from them, that we are all one. This they must never know. They must never know that a man's color is an illusion. They must always think they are not equal. Drop by drop, drop by drop, we shall advance our goal. We will take over their land, resources, and wealth to exercise total control over them. We will deceive them into accepting laws that will steal the little freedom they will have. We will establish a money system that will imprison them forever, keeping them and their children in debt. When they shall band together, we shall accuse them of crimes and present a different story to the world, for we shall own all the media. We will use our media to control the flow of information and their sentiment in our favor. When they shall rise up against us, we shall crush them like insects, for they are less than that. They will be helpless to do anything, for they will have no weapons. We will recruit some of them to help us carry out our plans. We will promise them eternal life, but eternal life they will never have, for they are no of us. The recruits will be called initiates and will be indoctrinated to believe false rites of passage to higher realms. Members of these groups will think that they are one with us, never knowing the truth. They must never learn this truth, for they will turn against us. For their work they will be rewarded with earthly things and great titles, but never will they become immortal and join us. Never will they receive the light and travel to the stars. They will never reach the higher realms, for the killing of their own kind will prevent passage to that realm of enlightenment. This they will never know. The truth will be hidden in their face so closely they will be unable to focus upon it until it's too late. Oh yes, so grand will the illusion of freedom be that they will never know they are our slaves. When all is in a place, the reality we have created for them will be their prison. They will live in self-delusion. When our goal is accomplished, a new era of domination will begin. Their minds will be bound by their beliefs, the beliefs that we have established from time immemorial. But if they ever find out that they are our equals, we shall perish then. This they must never know. If they ever find out that together they can vanquish us, they will take action. They must never ever find out what we have done, for if they do, we shall have no place to run. For it will be easy to see who we are once the veil has fallen. Our actions shall have revealed who we are, and they will hunt us down, and no person shall give us shelter. This is the secret covenant by which we shall live the rest of our present and future lives, for this reality shall transcend many generations and lifespans. The covenant is sealed by blood, our blood. We are the ones from heaven to earth came. The covenant must never ever be known to exist. It must never ever be written or spoken of, for it is. The consciousness it will spawn will release the fury of the prime creator upon us, and we shall be cast into the depths from whence we came and remain there until the end of infinity itself. Author unknown. But many believe it was written by J.D. Rockefeller.
this is Ingram Angle from Washington tonight. Thanks so much for being with us. Project Brainwash. That's the focus of tonight's angle.
I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Well, fear is a powerful emotion. Now, sometimes fear is good because it spurs us to the right action, like we take cover in a storm or we fight back if attacked. But lately, we've seen politicians use fear as a powerful weapon of coercion and control. Get the shot, or you're going to get COVID and die. Wear a mask, or you could be on a ventilator. Now, these control freaks use a combination of threats and fear to get people they hope to change their behavior. And this requires relentlessly pounding home a simple message.
The climate crisis is a threat to us as a species and this planet.
They've gone from global warming to climate change to Kamala's climate crisis. Now, Greta Thunberg must be so confused because we all know that if we're in a full-blown crisis, we all must suffer from anxiety.
I've heard young leaders talk with me about a term they've coined called climate anxiety, right? Which is fear of the future and the unknown, of whether it makes sense for you to even think about having children, whether it makes sense for you to think about aspiring to buy a home, because what will this climate be?
Only fear we have is that you actually are a heartbeat away from the presidency, sweetheart. Oh, this sounds terrible though, right? It sounds like we need to expand disability benefits maybe to include not just long COVID, but long climate anxiety. Now, of course, the truth is it's not climate anxiety pushing young people away from getting married or deciding to have children or more children. For that, you can blame the left's permissive moral climate along with Biden's rotten economy. But nice try, Kamala. Now, none of what they're saying is convincing beyond maybe college campuses, especially when they start using the E word.
Ours is an administration that is always focused on equity. So environmental justice is a phrase that we use to talk about that we want to make sure that there is equality and justice for all people.
Translation: they need you to be poorer and less mobile to install the type of global controls that will allow them to be in charge of all things that are important, resources like food, water, and fuel. Our basic freedom of movement, our freedom to exercise our religious beliefs, our freedom of the press, our free speech rights, along with our right to keep and bear arms. These will all be disposable if the climate emergency crowd gets their way. And as if to prove our point, Biden still looks to link arms with one of the world's most repressive regimes, one of the most polluting regimes, well, to help you in the crisis.
But we also stand ready to work together with China on issues where progress hinges on our common efforts. Nowhere is that more critical than accelerating the climate crisis, than the accelerating climate crisis.
Decelerating, accelerating, same thing. Of course, he's decelerating, except it's the US economy, he's decelerating. And why should Americans trust him with anything when he can't get the substance, the date, the place, or the time right?
For one day, my administration, the United States, has treated this crisis as an existential threat from the moment we took office, not only for us, but for all of humanity.
One day, quite ambitious. Very good. Now, trying to convince us that he's the great protector of all of humanity, as just heard him say, when he can't even keep order in his own family.
Record-breaking heat waves in the United States and China, wildfires ravaging North America and Southern Europe. Together, these snapshots tell an urgent story of what awaits us if we fail to reduce our dependence on fossil fuels and begin to climate-proof the world.
Okay, wait a second. Is that like Scotch gardening, but it's climate proofing? You know, when he's talking about climate proofing the world, not only does he sound like a complete nincompoop, the goal itself is nonsensical. It's obviously unattainable, and it's far more dangerous to our freedom and our humanity than a summer of record-breaking heat. Because climate proofing the world really means taking what we have and giving it all away. our energy independence, our constitutional rights, and our free market capitalism. So as Americans are barely able to stay ahead of inflation or rising interest rates, what's Aunt B focusing on?
We have an initiative to enable the World Bank and the other multilateral development banks to greatly expand their provision of resources and to mobilize private capital for climate change.
In other words, we're going to make sure that America borrows more money so we then can give it away to other countries for solar panels and wind turbines that are made in China. Now remember, Team Green only gives the little people two choices. Either be happy with a lower standard of living or destroy the entire planet. So living with less, having less, traveling less, it's the new normal. And it's the mission of the think tank elites who already have their fat nest eggs to sell it to you.
We know firsthand what's happening at the Clinton Global Initiative because we're working with people on the ground who are living it.
Climate change is a behavior change issue. We need to empower our youth to understand what that means and what they can do. Here at the Clinton Foundation, through Too Small to Fail, through the Clinton Global Initiative, we aim to build multi-sectoral partnerships that really kind of set out to do big things.
You lost me at multi-sectoral. Because when I think of sacrifice and truth-telling, I really think of the Clintons.
I think about young people leading the fights against climate change, thinking, doesn't matter if I'm rich and famous and powerful, I can still make a difference and I can't let anything stand in my way. So that's what this is about. We have a responsibility to try to make a difference.
Now, that's easy to say from someone who is already rich and powerful. You can put aside those other ambitions you used to have. Join me in saving the planet. But again, they're always going to have their preferred mode of transportation, the private jet. It's always going to be at their disposal. It's not going to change their lives at all. They just need you to change yours. That gives them more power and leaves you with the scraps. They've drained our strategic petroleum reserves. They've destroyed our ability to use our own resources. And they're trying to drive the oil companies into total and complete submission. Lawsuits, regulations, ESG pressure, you name it. By the way, the goal of California's recent lawsuit against oil companies, well, what's that? Make the cost of doing business so prohibitive that eventually you're driven out of business. And of course, Democrats on the Hill, they want to choke off the entire industry by attacking them on the financing side. So look, it's becoming clearer and clearer that in 2024, we're voting on whether our living standards are going to improve or continue to decline. We can't say we weren't warned. We can't say that Biden hasn't made his intentions really clear. He's going to work with some of the world's most despotic regimes, including China, to implement policies that will inevitably make Americans poorer and less free. Your falling income, understand this, is not a failure of Biden's policy. That is his policy. High gas prices, they're not a failure of his policy either. That's been their plan all along. Everyone in America who doesn't want bleak futures for themselves and their kids should be doing everything in his or her power to stop these green control freaks. Because if Biden or someone like him is elected and has 4 more years to implement these policies, the harm will be almost impossible to reverse. And that's the angle. All right, joining me now, Mark Morano, publisher of Climate Depot and author of The Great Reset, and Steve Malloy, former Trump EPA transition member and founder of junkscience.com. Mark, man, they were really pushing it today at the UN. They are selling the propaganda fear to get people to believe that this is really the best it's ever going to be right now. And over time, things are going to have to be the new normal. Do you see it that way?
Yes. In fact, the most significant thing was the message of all the protesters in the streets in New York City urging Joe Biden to declare a national climate emergency. Now, that just sounds like a slogan, but there's a real teeth behind it. The COVID emergency declaration made the climate activists jealous. We had a Teen Vogue activist, Jamie Margolis, say, if we can shut down the world for a virus, we can do the same thing for climate. And that's exactly what they want to do. The Center for Biological Diversity has estimated that Joe Biden will get 130 new executive powers by which to bypass democracy if this climate emergency declaration goes through. They will be able to literally have no vote in Congress to impose this agenda upon us, just like COVID.
Steve, where's the Republicans in the Senate? The Senate leadership see what's going on here. This is an attempt to choke off oil and gas. Oil's high; it's $95 a barrel now, but mostly because of they're making the oil companies richer and richer. But they want this over. They want to end this exploration in the United States. Maybe just a little trickle, but this is war against our future and our prosperity.
Yeah, definitely, it's war against our economy. They want to shut down the fossil fuel industry. The Biden administration wants to have the banks loan money based on temperature goals. Meanwhile, they say that communist China's coal emissions are not a problem, and then you have Republicans in the Senate.
They're deaf mutes. I'm sorry, but they don't say anything. They're not saying anything.
If I was a senator, I would be burning the place down, making the point that the Biden administration is trying to destroy this country through climate policy. But Republicans don't seem to be too exercised about it.
Well, it seems to me that the ideas that are being floated now to further combat this climate change and emergency are getting crazier and crazier. The New York Times published an op-ed piece claiming that geoengineering the oceans by adding iron, and in fact, fertilizing the oceans now may offer the best, most effective, most affordable way to just not just slow the march of global warming, but to reverse it by directly drawing carbon out of the atmosphere. Well, is there any merit to that? Or?
No, I mean, this is just another multi-billion-dollar scheme. They're talking about geoengineering the oceans. Bill Gates is giving Harvard University billions of dollars to try to block out the sun to prevent global warming. And then you have CBS this morning and multiple other mainstream shows, the ABC News Weather, talking about cloud seeding. The new motto seems to be the government will control the weather and you will be happy. They're literally going to pour billions of dollars into these schemes to try to alter the climate. And then they're going to say, well, we don't know the result, but because you're not going along with the Green New Deal, we have no choice but to do these risky schemes.
Steve, do you not agree that this is it for us? I mean, we vote to continue this economic decline and to basically neuter ourselves on the energy sector side. How do you come back from that? It'd be extremely difficult after 4 more years.
Well, when President Trump left office, we were in charge of the oil market, the marginal price. We controlled it. We were energy dominant. Joe Biden completely dropped the ball there. And even though we are actually producing more oil now than under the Trump administration, we have lost the chance to control the oil market, and it's causing inflation. It's hurting our national security. OPEC is back in the driver's seat like they were in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s.
And they took what was a 500-year supply, 600-year supply of oil and gas. And now we have put off limits millions and millions of acres. We have the prohibitions in New Mexico as well. That is the future. I mean, that's just a glimpse into what the future is going to be for the country.
Yeah, all they're doing is offshoring energy exploration to countries with lower human rights and environmental standards. And like when you talk about carbon taxes, the UN in Africa wants a global carbon tax. All that's going to do is raise CO2 emissions, period, because it's going to move all the Western wealthy countries with the highest standards to development energy extraction in countries that don't have it. This is the intentional collapse of our energy, food, and transportation. It's happening right before our eyes. There's no vote of Congress generally on any of this. Just like COVID, we didn't vote on mask mandates, school closures, church closures. We didn't vote on car gas bans. California legislature.
No one I know is in favor of any of this. I mean, this is the crazies on college campuses and the activist types, but I don't hear Americans clamoring for higher gas prices. Please take our gas stoves away. Please give us these mandates on the EVs in our states. Who's asking for this?
Well, no one is. But of course, during COVID, we all rolled over for big government. And so big government now thinks it can do whatever it wants. All it needs to do is declare a climate emergency. They wanted to go from COVID lockdowns into a climate lockdown, and that's where we're headed because they think we'll just take it.
Yeah, I predicted this 3 years ago, the climate lockdowns, racial lockdowns, this never ends. Anything to take your personal freedoms away. Shouldn't whoever the nominee is going to be, might be Trump, it probably will be Trump at this point, could be DeSantis or maybe someone else. This should be front and center every single day. I'm going to get gas down to by the time I'm done, it's going to be $2.25 a gallon again. Yes? Isn't that a winner
Just run on the fact that we're not going to ban gas-powered cars. No one voted for it. It's not going to happen. And you tell the automakers that, and you tell the consumers. We have the corporate.
They're killing the UAW. The EVs are killing the UAW. We're killing the auto industry.
They're killing the auto.
And corporate banks are now saying they're not going to give car loans to people who buy gas-powered cars. The World Bank isn't going to allow financing at the automaker level, according to Nicholas Stern. This is the world in which we face, and the Republicans need to get their game up and fight this.
So we'll see, next week at the debate, whether any Republicans are going to be serious about this. At the last debate, Vivek had good answers, DeSantis had good answers. But after that, it just all kind of goes into
generalities. It's like cliches and generalities. We got to get specific on this.
I'll tell you who's got the best answers. RFK Jr., he actually says, forget everything else you know about him. He said, I won't talk about climate change because it's been hijacked by the World Economic Forum and the UN for totalitarian control of society.
As long as we're making China rich, don't tell me that we're fighting the climate change. I mean, they're not serious about any of that. Great to see both of you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, the next national emergency, as we were just talking about, according to the Democrats, well, the details coming up.
So there it is, people. Now, the other news that she's going to say, in Pennsylvania, they're going to start up that anytime you get a driver's license, you automatically become a voter, registered. Sounds good. Sounds real good. Unless you don't want it. You have to tell them personally that you don't want to vote. But other than that, anybody that signs up for their license is registered to vote. The problem is with that, the illegals, when they come on in to get a driver's license, they're legally to vote. Now, because the government is catering to these illegals, you know what's going to happen. They're going to vote the Democrats. And you can check that out on YouTube. Now, believe me, I could care less about the Democrats or the Republicans. They're all the same. They're all in bed with each other. They're a bunch of crazy people, demented. They think they're gods over us because they have money. They can do more than what we can. And that's all it is. They bleed like we do. They wear clothes like we do. They even go to the bathroom like we do. At least some. And what they're doing right now is they're brainwashing our children, next generation, to believe in government. And I don't feel sorry for these children. And I'll tell you why. The parents know what's going on, and what are they doing? They're still allowing their children to go to school. Just to be brainwashed. You're paying thousands of dollars just to go to college to learn how to be brainwashed. And I showed you a video already how Generation Z is just so incompetent. They can't even answer simple questions. We're laughing our rear off on our last live about this. It's amazing. I feel sorry for them, but this is the way America is. They don't want to educate the kids. Because if they do, they would go against our tyranny government. Now, you can see what's going on right now with the fentanyl crisis. They found a children trafficking place in Texas, and nothing was said about it. It was kept really quiet. Check that out on YouTube. This is all coming down because of the RIF, WEF, World Economic Forum. These are the people that are running the whole schmo. They're getting millions and millions of dollars put in. And the money's going to BlackRock Financial. And the CEO and the founder of BlackRock is Larry Fink. The person who's actually telling these people what to do, the RIF and the BlackRock, how to use their money, is called ESG. I can't remember the name offhand, but you can look it up. Just ESG. They're the ones who are telling how to implement this tyranny on us masses. Now, when we have nothing, these people who are implementing this tyranny on us are going to have everything. They're going to fly all over the place. They're going to make excuses. They're going to shoot rockets in the air. You know, every time I see a rocket, I'm like, damn, you know, here we go again. Another device to restrict our freedoms. This is coming our way. Look under 15-minute cities or smart cities that they're building now. This is crazy, people, I'm telling you. And what's going to happen eventually? They're going to get rid of us old bastards like me. Because I know too much. Thank God my grandkids are learning it, what I know. I pass it on to my children. Now, if you want to stay here and suck the government's tit to be dependent on them, you go ahead. But your time is coming. They're going to control every aspect of your life, from your medical, as you can see right now, to your education, to fake news, to Hollywood, to your money, which is going to CBDC, central bank digital currency, which is going to be centralized to tell you when to spend your money, when not to. To talk about equity, yeah, it's equity, all right. Everybody down the line is going to get probably about $1,000 a month. And if you don't use that, then they'll drop your money to $800. And you're going to be told when to spend all of it. And if you don't get none of it. If you say something against the government, freedom of speech is gone. They'll stop your money or give you bad credit. To getting rid of your gas stoves, gas furnaces. And they're doing it purposely, knowing that these people can't afford it. People are going to die and starve and freeze to death. Because the government don't give a shit. If this is what you want, keep staying with the government. Because you got a big surprise coming. And it's coming really soon. It really is. They want power over us. It's unreal. They're gods over us. They know better than we do. They're our nanny to tell us what to do and when to do it. This is why all this chaos is going on. And a lot of these crises right now were man-made by the government to get their agenda passed through, like the Patriot Act, the war of mass destruction, which is a bunch of bull. It's all lies. The test run was when we had to wear masks. People were scared to death. My wife and I, we didn't get the Kool-Aid, and we're still alive. We never even got the Kool-Aid, sniffles. All we did was wash our hands. We had to wear our mask when we had to walk into a place to get something. Other than that, we took our masks off and walked around freely. I didn't believe in the bull. And one mistake they did for me to realize that it was bull is when the pharmaceuticals couldn't be sued. So that told me right then and there something was wrong. Now, these women out here, my body, my choice, I have the right to abort a child or not. What about the mandate when it came up? Why didn't we have a choice? Why are people dying off like flies now? And we still haven't heard the end of it. So you just keep believing on government. They're liars, they're thieves, they're demented, they're crazy, and they'll kill you. And I feel sorry for my brothers and sisters who died for this country, for they thought it was for freedom and democracy. Because the government won't apologize, but I will. I'm so sorry for that. We had to fight for nothing other than the rich to get richer off of military equipment. And that's all it was. Now what they want to do, my last video, is they want to reconstruct Ukraine. Go in there and rebuild it up. This is the government making deals with their partners to go over there and reconstruct Ukraine when this war is over with. Make money. They want the head of the union teacher to go over there to start teaching them kids transgender, wokeness. This is all crazy people. And if this is what you want, take it. It's yours because you're going to regret it. When I can again, I am going to go up north and I'm going to hide. There are ways of doing it. You can build a cob house, C-O-B, a hemp house. There's all kinds of stuff. And I learned this from New Guru. And he showed me actual videos on this. He showed me other stuff that I can do that I was not aware of, which I'm going to do when I can. My best advice to you people, if you can and if you want to, you better talk to New Guru. This man's not stupid. And believe me and him had arguments because I was very patriotic. And everything he said, I checked on, and he was right. Everything. Like the word government. The real meaning in government is mind control. To control your minds. The government's got this thing organized perfectly. And we abide by it. Which is a crock. These are not laws. These are not rules. These are commands and demands on us. They don't even ask us anymore. And they're dropping their drawers and showing their butts to us and waving it back and forth, saying, kiss it. And because you're fearful, you don't do nothing. Well, the best thing you can do is don't protest, don't write your senators, get the hell out of Dodge and go into the woods. Grab some books, learn how to survive, and do it. You should have been prepping by now, at least having food to last for at least 2 years. You should at least bought seeds, vegetables, so you can live on, learn how to can. And again, they're going to stop that too. They're going to have snitches saying, if you see a garden, tell us, we'll come over here and we'll give them a fine or put them in jail and we'll tear up the garden. They don't want you to live. They want to exterminate, eliminate, kill, murder 6 to 7 billion people. And there's 8 billion people now on this planet. So you think about it, people, what you want to do. If you want to stay with government, you go ahead. As far as I'm concerned, you go ahead, but enjoy yourself. But don't be knocking on my door because that door will be closed. Because I'm giving you a fair warning right now. There's other people out there, and you can look on YouTube, who are living off the land and loving it. No time clock, fresh air. Nobody telling you what to do. You go in your own pace. You reap what you sow. If you don't want to do a garden, you starve. If you do, you'll get plentiful food. Go by the lake, fish. Live in a community that does the same thing. I guess the Amish and the other people like the Amish Mennonites. Yeah, I guess they had the right idea. We didn't. But they stick together. They didn't want nothing to do with the government. They were the smart ones, really. That's just about it, everybody. Oh, who's this? My apologies. I was talking. 12B, how you doing, buddy? What's going on? Yeah, he's having a cup of coffee. So basically, that's just about it. I mean, you do what you want to do. It's your life. But I fought for this country one time. And I'm not doing it again. It's up to you people. You want to be scared? You go ahead. You know, when I was in basic training and we were shooting our firearms, I should say our weapons, in the foxholes. One guy had his gun jammed, and he had that damn M16 pointed at my head. Didn't even know about it until the drill sergeant grabbed him. I heard the noise. I turned around, didn't know what was going on until I was done shooting at the fire range. If he would have kept playing around with that sucker would have hit me in the head. That bullet, boom. There's nothing to hear a bullet go past your head. Believe me, if it ever happened. You can hear, shoo. I had to stop my fear, knowing that I might have to go to Vietnam. And I did. I stopped it. And I did it all for democracy and freedom, which was the biggest freaking lie in the world. You know, you got a lot of draft dodges over there. Biden's one of them, and so is Trump. Both of them dodged the draft. Check it out on YouTube, or I should say Google. These people cause this shit, and they sit back laughing their asses off on us, drinking champagne and eating steak and watching us on TV dying left and right, and they don't even care. What they're doing to us right now in America is done purposely. There's no reason in the world why anybody should starve. If people, people of the population, at least half the population, just grew a garden, fruit trees, do you think people would starve today? Would you have to be dependent on manufacturers making food, poisonous foods, that they put additives in there? Think about that. But yet America's going to starve. You got China buying up farmlands. Bill Gates is buying up farmlands. Oprah is buying up farmlands in Hawaii. Why are they doing that? You know, they can have their capitalism, they can have their socialism, whatever they want. Just leave me alone. I'm going to live off the land and enjoy it. And I don't want to be bothered. If our forefathers can do it, we can do it. And it's funny, when we got educated in the system, they told us how to be good worker bees. Listen to the bell, that means something, go to classes, go to lunch, stay in line. We have emergency, put your head underneath the table. You know, listen to the law, listen to your government, but they never told you anything about Mother Nature, how to survive. They told you everything about the corporate world, how to make money for the elites, and you'll get scraps. But not one word about how to provide yourself when you have to be in the woods. Think about that. All right, people, I'm going to be going. 12B, thank you for showing up, guy. I was just here for a short. I got to do some stuff here. There is a guy that understands what's going on, 12B. He's doing it right now. He's doing a lot of stuff, prepping. And one more thing before I take off, though. Why are they trying so hard to take away your Second Amendment? The right to bear arms will not be infringed upon. Well, they're doing pretty good in infringing a lot of stuff. Why is that? In the Second Amendment, it says we have the right to bear arms in case our government turns to tyranny, which is doing now. And the government knows this. They take away your guns, you're done. I don't care if it's a pea shooter or whatever. You can protect yourself with it. They don't want that. They want you to be completely defenseless when they come to pick you up. And it's amazing how these government workers make good bucks because they don't want to be whistleblowers, because they'll lose their luxurious jobs, good benefits, good paying job, good retirement pay. What are you getting? And it's all coming from the tax money. This is why the government is rogue. They're living comfortably right now. I mean, really comfortably right now. While we have to work in factories, work all kinds of freaking hours just to make a living, and it's gone within one paycheck because you got to pay for everything. Not them. They have enough money they can live forever. And I'm talking about the elites, not just the workers, not the government workers. They do have money. There's no doubt about it. There's so much crime in here, it's unreal. And it's throughout the cities, counties, states, and governments. It's all through the 50 states. It's a cancer that they started a long time ago. And everybody's making money that's in the electoral field, official fields, mayors, governors, senators, CIA, FBI. They're all making money. And this is why no one's snitching on everybody else, because they don't want to lose their plush job. So they're willing to screw the American people, forget about the Constitution, and just do what they got to do to survive. It's fear. All right. Okay, let's see what we got here. Pays the taxes. That's right. Yeah. I know a lot of people that have 2 jobs now. Yeah. And they're barely making it. Yep. Oh, by the way, just to show you something, we had a lady that showed us England, London, England. And subways, buses, beautiful. Just immaculately clean. Everything was updated. Beautiful. America, shoot, it's going down to hell. I mean, you didn't see any paper anywhere. Nothing. No debris, no graffiti, no nothing. And everything was brand new over there, modern. Here, forget about it. They're giving all their wealth to other countries. And you're going to suffer. So my best advice is you better get some good seeds, organic seeds, and learn how to plant a garden. And if they come after you, you know what to do. I'd rather be free than be a slave to anybody. I'm Rights for Vets, and I do appreciate it. 12B, thank you very much for showing up, buddy. I do appreciate it. If you can, we'll get together soon. I'll catch you later on. Everybody, thank you. God bless you, and good luck to you, because you're going to need it. It's coming. I'm Rights for Vets, and I'm out.